Hi, today we're going to look at how to graph using Logger Pro. The example I'm giving you, one where we're already assuming you've collected the data, the example I'm giving you is from the inverse square law. This would be any sort of study that studies a point source that uses a field that spreads out evenly in all three dimensions, such as light or radiation or electric field. Anyways, let's say we're studying light. That's a common example. And let's say we've got a point source just like this. Now, as you get farther away from the point source, we know off the top of our heads that that should get dimmer and dimmer. So I'm assuming you've already collected data. The x-axis in this case is representing the radial distance. How far are you from the source of this light? The y-axis, on the other hand, is showing the light intensity, measured in lumens. So, if you can see, as I enter data points, Logger Pro is automatically graphing them on an axis. Great, data entered. However, you wouldn't want to hand in a graph like this. You can see all the data points. However, they're not to a great scale. So you have some options, and I'll show you both. On the x-axis, I'll show you one option, is you can just wait until your cursor looks like a typing key, click, and then type in the scale you want. I see that x goes from 0.1 to 0.5, so maybe a good scale would be to go up to maybe 0.7. And it automatically stretches the axis for you. Now, if you just want a little bit of precision, see you've got this data point way up here on the top, but you don't know necessarily what you want, you can also do another option. Scroll over and wait till you get this thing that looks like a slinky or a spring. It says click and drag to stretch the axis. And I could stretch it that way, but it's better to pull it down so I can see all my data points evenly. Next, I'm going to label the axes. So right-clicking on here. There we go. So it says more. And I can go label this axis. As I said, y-axis was light intensity in lumens. Okay. And we kind of know from experience that light gets dimmer when you get farther away. But since we're a physics class and we want to be able to model these functions, a lot of students off the top of their head will say, well, that's a function that's decreasing and curved. That must be an exponential. But that's really not the case. There's a whole set of functions, all of the inverse functions, that look like this. So, eyeballing it will not be able to tell what function it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the curve fit button, and what I want to pick is the power fit. The power fit button tells me which function it is in the power series. So meaning, is it an inverse square, an inverse cube? Is it a quadratic function? Is it a cubic function? That way I don't have to guess at quadratic or cubic or quartic or quintic and see which one fits best. I do try fit. Press OK. And it automatically fits it for me. So how to read this? This says that the y-axis, that's the light intensity, is equal to about 1 times x, that's radial distance, to the negative 2. This means my function is to the negative 2 power. That function is called an inverse square, not an exponential at all. The correlation in this case, the 0.9999, means it's a really good fit. So that's how we graph in Logger Pro. That's all, folks.